Breaking news. Benjamin Sesko is set to sign a contract extension and stay in Germany with RB Leipzig. We're going to be breaking that down and telling every Arsenal fan out there why they should not panic, because there is plenty more strikers out there. And Arsenal at the moment are one of the best teams in Europe and can attract multiple players. We'll also be giving an update with regards to Jadon Sancho's £40 million transfer fee, and he's apparently wanted by 5 clubs, and one of those is Borussia Dortmund, with one English club as well. We're going to be breaking so much down. If you're new to the channel, please do go down and hit that subscribe button. The Euros is 4 days away. Please let me know, what style of content would you like? Would you like watch-alongs, match reactions, transfer news? Let me know in the comments what sort of content would you like throughout the Euros. Now, the breaking news come out from Fabrizio Romano, the most reliable journalist in world football, has come out and said an exclusive: Benjamin Sesko has decided to stay. Now, I honestly thought he was Arsenal bound. Lots of people thought he was Chelsea bound. And the report says to stay at RB Leipzig and sign a new contract on improved terms. Decision made for talented striker, similar to what Haaland decided to do back in the days at Borussia Dortmund. Sesko will stay at Leipzig with a new gentleman's agreement for a future exit. Now, Marco Rosa, the Bundesliga team, RB Leipzig, he's basically a vital role in this. Apparently, he got through to Sesko and said, look, you can leave, but right now he doesn't believe it's best for his development, and Benjamin Sesko will stay at RB Leipzig for at least one more season. Now, lots of Arsenal fans, as you can probably understand, are a little bit down in the dumps. You're talking about a top talent right there who will go on to achieve fantastic things throughout his career. But right now, it's not the best time, according to him, to move. And at this moment in time, was he guaranteed game time to start every single week? Probably not, because you've got the likes of Kai Havertz, you got the likes of Gabriel Jesus, you got Martinelli that can play there, Trossard's played in the false nine, various different profiles have played in that role. As it stands right now, I don't think Arsenal fans should be panicking. Similar thing happened with Mykhailo Mudryk. They didn't get Mudryk, and they then got Leandro Trossard, and that worked out for the better. I honestly think right now Arsenal probably will look at an Alexander Isak or a Victor Gyökeres or an Ivan Toney. There is plenty of other strikers out there, and the same name that's been linked to Arsenal for a number of weeks is now being linked again, and that is Alexander Isak. Now, apparently Newcastle are reportedly holding out for a £130 million transfer fee, which is, to me, absolutely bonkers, but that's the world we're kind of living in the football at the moment. I do think Newcastle probably could command a fee of around 90 to 100 million pounds. He's a top player, scored 21 goals in the league last season for Newcastle. He's 24 years of age, has played on the left, has played up front, and we know Mikel Arteta loves that versatility. Is Alexander Isak going to be a Newcastle player? Well, as it stands, transfermarket.co.uk value him at 75 million euros. His contract expires June 30th, 2028. Mikel Arteta has come out on various different times and said he wants a new striker. He wants to strengthen that front line. One of the reasons why Arsenal probably didn't win the league last season was because they didn't have that out-and-out number 9. But at the same time, Arsenal still scored the second most amount of goals in the Premier League as it stands. I honestly think right now, Arsenal probably will go in for an Alexander Isak or a Victor Gyökeres. I don't think Ivan Toney at this moment in time is realistic. Brentford are holding out for a 60 to 70 million pound price tag, which is absolutely bonkers considering he's only got 1 year left on his contract. And overall, I do believe Isak, in terms of the way Arsenal play, I think he is the best player suited. He can hold the ball up. His distribution out wide is brilliant. He's an unbelievable finisher. He's versatile. He can play both on the left and in that number 9 role. But the reaction throughout the socials on Twitter is a little bit mixed in terms of some of it is a little bit disheartened and upset, and some of it is, I guess you could say, let's not panic. Right now, Arsenal are in a very, very strong position that can attract a number of different players. And yes, they have lost out on a transfer target, but doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have a bad transfer window. That the likes of Bruno Gomares is also being linked to a move to Arsenal, Zubimendi, Edison. You know, just on Newcastle for a moment, I don't believe that Bruno Gomares and Alexander Isak will be sold in the same transfer window. Bruno Gomares apparently has a £100 million release clause, and Alexander Isak, according to Newcastle, is valued at £130 to £140 million. If Newcastle were to get rid of both, you're talking at £230, £240 million. Could they potentially rebuild that team and really strengthen? Potentially, but you are also losing one of the best strikers in the world and a top DM. Only one of those will potentially join Arsenal, as they are heavily linked to both. And as it stands right now, I think Alexander Isak is more likely, purely because only one team was looking likely to pay that 100 million release clause, and that was Manchester City. Now, this current ongoing court case, which will be settled, started yesterday, that will be settled probably in the next couple of months. And then you've also got the 115 charges court case coming their way. Are they going to break the bank on a 100 million pound release clause in Bruno Gomares? I don't necessarily think so. Plus, you've got the likes of Julian Alvarez being linked to the move away. So Manchester City have got their own kind of transfer business they've got to sort out before they look at incomings. And as it stands right now, I do believe personally that Benjamin Sesko, probably in hindsight, has made maybe the right decision. Erling Haaland had a similar thing where Manchester United wanted him under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He decided to stay one more year and obliterate it. He then got another 35, 38, 40 league goals or whatever it was. And then he got his move to Manchester City. Could Arsenal potentially hold out for another year and bring in a winger who is versatile, that can play both on the left and on the right-hand side? Maybe, but they do need a killer up front. They do need an out-and-out number 9. And I personally believe right now, Arsenal have missed out on a talent, but there is lots of talent out there. Speaking of talent, Jadon Sancho is another player at Manchester United, of course, but he's being linked to a move away to Borussia Dortmund. Tottenham have come up on the radar a few times. And I do believe Jadon Sancho is a lot better player than people are making out. I don't think he's in the right setup at Manchester United. He apparently could be leaving for around £40 million. He still is only 24. Transfermarket.co.uk value him at €30 million. 14 appearances in the Bundesliga, 5 goal contributions this season, 1 goal in 7 games in the Champions League, and 3 appearances in the Premier League this season. He is a player that can create his own individual chances. His stats in the Dortmund shirt speak for themselves. 53 goals and 67 assists. Absolutely ridiculous. 120 goal contributions in 158 games. In a Man United shirt, 18 GA in 82, 94 GA in 118 in the Bundesliga. A top return, 12 GA in the Champions League in 28 games for Jadon Sancho. Now, if he were to come to Tottenham, I think that'd be a fantastic signing. I personally believe that Ange Postecoglou's man management, he needs someone to get his arm around him and say, look, you are a better player than a lot of people are making you out to be. And I do believe he needs some guidance. I don't necessarily think he got that from Man United under Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag, with all that being said, did have to deal with a lot. The Anthony situation, the Harry Maguire situation, the Mason Greenwood, the Jadon Sancho. He's had a lot of stuff come his way, and fair play, he come out the other side of it and won an FA Cup. But overall, right now, I don't believe that Jadon Sancho is going to be a Manchester United player. And at that £40 million mark, he currently has, I think he's got 2 years left on his contract. Very versatile, can play left on the left-hand side, can play on the right-hand side, and can play through the middle. His wages are a little bit steep, don't get me wrong, which is why I don't necessarily think a Tottenham move is realistic. Of course, he is a London boy, come through, I believe it was Watford's academy. A current in Dortmund, he's on 67,000 euros a week. And then Manchester United play the other 130,000 euros. He's in the top 6% for take, top 4% in Europe for take-ons, top 8% for progressive carries, top 19% for both pass completion and progressive passes. Expected assist, a very, very high. Shot creating actions, top 21%. He's compared to the likes of Bernardo Silva, the likes of Jack Grealish, the likes of Chris Furyk at Stuttgart. His numbers are very, very good. And I do believe whoever he goes to, they will get a top player. Let me know your thoughts down below if you haven't already. Do you think Jadon Sancho could be in a Tottenham shirt? Have Arsenal missed out on a Benjamin Sesko? I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I am